What's up YouTube? Welcome back to another video. For this one, I thought I'd switch it up and do something a little different. I wanted to talk about my main squeeze, the Dark Knight, Black Stealth. I don't know, I don't really have a nickname for her, but it is my Honda CTX700, the DCT version. Pretty much that means that it is an automatic motorcycle. And I just kind of want to talk about it, give you my little review, what I think of it, why I bought it, and how it's been going so far. So let me bring the camera in a little closer. I want you guys to see some of the details and some of the things this bike has to offer. Found the leaf and the bike. So first I wanted to talk about the bike itself, give you some info on it, just so you guys can kind of comprehend a little bit more about it and know what this bike has to offer. So the official name of this bike is the Honda CTX700. This is the DCT version, dual clutch transmission. It was introduced in 2014 and discontinued in 2018. This right here is a 2018. I got it in, I believe it was summer of 2019. I bought it brand new and yeah, I absolutely love it. So it is 88.8 inches in length. The width is 33.7 inches. The height is 45.8. The seat height itself is 28.3 inches and it weighs about 500 pounds. It's a 4-stroke engine. It does 0 to 60 in 6.1 seconds. So it's not a speed rocket, but it's also not super sluggish. It's somewhere in the middle. It's a pretty powerful engine in my opinion, especially for me and what I need it and what I use it for. I mostly use it to commute to work. It's an automatic 6-speed, so it has the 6 gears. So this bike is specifically engineered to make motorcycling more approachable, affordable, and fun to ride. And I can definitely attest to all of those things. I think it's a very fun bike to ride. The engine is 670 cc's. So we'll go over real quick what the C, the T, and the X stands for in the name CTX. So the C in the CTX is for comfort, and that has to do with the drivability, easy cornering. It's not a very loud bike. It's actually relatively low compared to most motorcycles. It has a low seat and it's a very stable bike. So it just makes it an all-around very comfortable and easy bike to ride and get into, especially if you're trying to get into the whole motorcycle game and you want to get a bike and you're kind of nervous. So this is a perfect entry-level motorcycle in my opinion. The T stands for technology, and that has to do with the dual clutch transmission. I'm not sure if Honda invented it or developed, but the DCT system implemented on this bike makes it a very advanced and technological bike, mostly because it figures out on its own when it needs to go up and down in gears. You don't have to do anything. You just squeeze the throttle and the bike automatically does everything for you. It's pretty cool actually. And the X is for experience. The X in experience, EX. So the performance on this is very smooth all the way around, from braking to accelerating, just the cruiser style and the riding precision. The experience you're gonna have on this, it's not very intimidating. It feels extremely comfortable, and the experience overall makes this, I think, for a great beginner bike. And all three, in my opinion, are key ingredients for a fulfilling and enjoyable ride. Whether you're going out for a sip of coffee with some friends, whether you're commuting, whether you're traveling the world. In my opinion, the comfort, the technology, and the experience pretty much all come combined and intertwined with each other to make this a very easy and fun and enjoyable riding experience, in my opinion. It's technically considered a cruiser, but in my opinion, it looks like a mix between a cruiser and a sports bike. Let's take a look over on this side. Got the muffler here. Here we have the transmission. We got the ABS up front. Very simple layout, not too much going on. You have your 2 different trip mileages, A and B. Then you have your total miles. I have a little over 18,000 miles on this. So yes, I do ride a lot. You have your time, your speed, which you can change to kilometers if you'd like. Your fuel gauge, your ABS light, which goes off once you start riding. Your high beam signal right there. This is for when the bike is in neutral. This is obviously for when the bike needs some oil, which doesn't mean anything now because that always goes on when you first turn it on. This is in case you need to work on the engine. And this is when the bike has the parking brake on. Because this bike isn't your standard manual bike, you have to put the parking brake on so the bike won't be able to rock back and forth, especially if you're like on a hill. This is your on and off switch, and it does give you the option so that you can ride manual, but it does not have the actual clutch or the shifter. As you can see, all it has is your little shift lever to go up in gear down here. And then it has another one here, kind of hard to see with the shadows, that goes down in gear. So this is your selector to go from neutral to drive and to sports mode. So I didn't make too many modifications to the bike. I did two things actually. One of them being over here. It's a Throttle Lock. I forget the name of the company, but I'll put it down below. Essentially, it just locks your throttle so that you can keep the same speed. It's almost like a poor man's cruise control. It's not gonna work as good as cruise control because when this is set, it's not gonna change the speed whether you're going uphill or downhill. If you go downhill, it's gonna increase speed. If you go uphill, it's gonna decrease in speed. All it does is lock the throttle in the position that you want it to maintain the same, I don't wanna say speed, but I guess to maintain the same precision in the throttle and the same RPMs, which I find it pretty useful being that my commute is about 22 miles and it's mostly a highway. I kind of set it, forget it, and it just makes for a more enjoyable ride. And I also added this small little windshield. The windshield is from a company called MRA, bought it online, super easy to install, put it on myself. Same thing with the Throttle Lock. With the windshield, mostly what it does, it protects my chest from the wind. So instead of the wind hitting directly on my chest, it'll go straight up and it hits the helmet. So it kind of keeps me a little warmer when I'm riding in the wintertime. Let's go over the two small compartments that we have in here. So we have the small one right here, which I keep my parking pass for work. I also keep a rag in case I need to clean the mirrors. This is where the gasoline goes into. It holds 3.3 gallons. Here we have another tiny little compartment. It is tiny. I keep a spare set of gloves in case I need to do something on the bike. And in this little box, I keep a gauge in case I need to check the tire pressure, a knife, some cash, my driver's license, my registration, along with my insurance card in case I ever get pulled over, which hasn't happened yet, and I hope it never does. So let's talk real quick about why I got this bike, how I got it, and how I got into it and my story behind it. This is a little uncomfortable, so if you don't mind. So when I lived back in New York, I used to ride scooters. So I had a Kaoko 150, I forget the model. I'll show you a picture of it. So yeah, my brother and I, we rode that for a few years, maybe like a year or two actually, it wasn't that long. I was able to do about 60, 65 miles per hour. Never really got on the highway, just, you know, commuting from work, little errands here and there. Then I wanted something a little more powerful. So I saw this one scooter and I fell in love with it. It was a Piaggio BV 350, I believe. And it was love at first sight. I saw this thing, did some research on it, and then I went straight to a Vespa dealership and I did not even have to test ride this thing. I saw it, they had the one I wanted, they had the color I wanted, purchased it outright, and I think that scooter was about 5 or 6 grand. It was pretty expensive, but it was amazing. I love that thing. Had it for about 2-3 years. Then my wife and I moved over to Washington. I sold it. I didn't really want to try to figure out how to get that thing across here, so I figured it'd be easier to get rid of it. And